Tom Hanks never does well on boats, does he? He was taken hostage by Somalian pirates in Captain Phillips, and now, in Greyhound, he's a captain of a naval warship that is being hunted by German U-boats. So there you go, if you ever meet Tom Hanks on a boat, jump off. Take your chances in the water.
Dear Lord, let your holy angel be with me, that the evil foe may have no power over me. Into your hands I commend myself, my body, and soul. Amen.
How's it going, guys? Welcome back to a brand new episode of Luke's Reviews, and on today's video, well, I've decided to stop watching Hamilton consecutively. I'm up to 3 watches so far, and, well, there probably is going to be a 4th. In fact, 4th isn't even a question. But I thought it would be best to have a look at some newer releases, or given the current age that we're living in, newer releases being on streaming services and on-demand platforms, and one of those is a World War II action thriller starring and co-written by Tom Hanks, which is currently available on Apple's streaming service, and it is called Greyhound. Situated in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, Greyhound is the name of an American destroyer ship tasked with supporting a fleet of convoy ships with supplies crossing from America to the UK. But as they enter what's known as the pit and they lose air support, Tom Hanks' inexperienced captain has to evade a swarm of German U-boats heading their way. Tom Hanks isn't exactly unfamiliar with World War II stories, having lent his name to a bunch of classic war films, one of which being the Oscar-winning Saving Private Ryan, and also teaming up with Spielberg again to write and produce the acclaimed miniseries that is Band of Brothers. So Hanks returning to the battlefield, this time round with the attention being focused on the Navy, well, it just seems like a really good fit. Or it seemed that way. The film is very contained. I mean, it doesn't dilly-dally about. Within minutes, we're aboard the ship, setting sail, and then facing off against an incoming fleet of German U-boats. What I will say about Greyhound is that the way in which director Aaron Schneider utilizes Hanks' script in the best possible way to craft genuine moments of tension is very impressive. A lot of the film takes place within the confines of the small enclosed bridge where you can tell there just isn't much room to maneuver, and so you as an audience member you kind of feel trapped in there too. Through the use of maintaining that tension, the first half an hour of this film is pretty damn gripping. But then you begin to realize that from that point on, it really isn't doing anything different after that. Like I said, it's certainly interesting, but when that's your entire film, and I really do mean that, we do not get any downtime at all, and it is just constantly a battle with a fleet of U-boats, but when it's constantly running through those exact same motions, yeah, it all starts to get very repetitive. Now, Hanks is Hanks. He is never bad in any role you put him in. And as the captain, again, he's very dependable in this lead role. But we don't know anything about him. All we're told about his character is that this is his first trip that he's in command of, and that he has a girlfriend, played by Elisabeth Shue, who appears for the most fleeting of cameos in a scene that genuinely blink and you will miss her. We know that she's left behind. Otherwise, there's nothing really to him. And don't even get me started on the other soldiers, because they're treated like almost faceless, nameless goons that are just aboard the ship. We don't get to spend any real time with them, so we don't, in a way, get to connect that little bit more. Their characters are solely limited to just reading out figures. There is no semblance of character to be found. And I think I've come to the conclusion why that is. Greyhound never really felt like a film. Instead, it behaves a lot more like a documentary dramatization that you would often find on the Discovery Channel or the History Channel. A dramatization with a fairly modest budget and Tom Hanks attached to it, but it almost behaves like a history textbook coming to life, but verbatim. And I think your opinion on whether that treatment appeals to you or not will eventually determine your opinion on the film. Greyhound falls into a gaggle of war films that have a very intriguing premise and show fleeting moments of promise, but ultimately devolve into a flat, shallow, and disappointing experience. Tom Hanks is reliable, but the film feels more like a feature-length dramatization of historic events rather than poking at anything deeper and more profound. Overall, I'm going to give Greyhound a 4.5 out of 10. Anyway guys, those are my thoughts on Greyhound. Let me know what you thought of the film down in the comments below. And I'm actually not going to give you guys a question this time round. Instead, if you have been following me on Twitter, you know that the road to 300 subscribers has begun. So all I'm going to ask you guys is that if you have enjoyed watching this video and you aren't already subscribed, please consider doing that. It would mean the absolute world to me. And if you are already subscribed to this channel and you can think of someone who you could recommend this channel to, that would be incredible also. Thanks for watching. If you have enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more, please make sure that you click that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. All the links to my social media accounts, my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and my letterbox are all in the description below. And if you haven't liked the video, what are you still doing here?